Hello, boxing fans around the world. Thank you for joining me once again here on Talk and Fight for another episode of Boxing News Today. And we've just got a few short stories to rip through, but they're juicy as always. Starting off with the now bad boy of the boxing world, Teofimo Lopez, who says he refuses to apologize for saying he wants to kill WBO light welterweight champ Josh Taylor. This is according to Robert Segal, who's writing BoxingNews24.com. According to Teofimo, 18-1, 13 knockouts, people wanting him to apologize is an example of how boxing is getting soft. Yeah, right. Point that out to Mike at Knuckle Up, who has his Knockout of the Week show award. Anyway, Teofimo points out that he almost died in his fight against George Kambosos Jr. And if that had happened, there would have been the 10 bells thing. But then he would have been quickly forgotten. In Teo's mind, dying is part of the sport, and it happens. As a result, he's not going to apologize for saying he wants to kill Josh Taylor. 19-0, 13 knockouts, by the way. Some see Teofimo Lopez as comments as thoughtless, while others view it as a cheap attempt to attract interest in his fight with Taylor on Saturday at Madison Square Garden in New York. That, quite frankly, is going somewhat unnoticed, quite frankly. Up until this week, there hasn't been a huge buzz about the Taylor-Teofimo fight, partly due to lack of a huge promotional push, but also because of the fighters themselves. The former unified lightweight champ, Teofimo, who likes to embellish his credentials by calling himself a former undisputed, hasn't done a lot of interviews until this week. So perhaps to make up for the invisibility, Teofimo is going overboard with his comments. He said, well trained and well thought out about his plan that we have in mind. I feel like the young takeover of 2018, he said. We figured out a problem that's been giving me issues with my coach. Ever since then, my sparring has looked phenomenal in these rounds of training, getting hit less. I'm looking like the person that I need to look like on June 10th. I use that as fuel. People forget that I nearly died, so it takes a little bit to gather that back up. He beats Regis Progress. He beats Ivan Barancek. He's beaten a lot of top fighters. Jose Ramirez, he went and collected all those belts to become undisputed. So you've got two guys, former undisputed, fighting each other, the best against the best. And that's what boxing's all about. He holds a Ring magazine that identifies the champion of champions, and that's what we're fighting for in this fight. In this fight here, in my eyes, no one has beaten Josh Taylor. He's still technically undisputed, but people will say what they're going to say. People still try to dispute my undisputed. It's still a goal to become undisputed, but it's hard. A lot of these fighters talk a good game on the internet, but in real life, they don't do it. With the performance I'm going to put on against Josh Taylor, it's going to cause a lot of fighters not wanting to face me, even the champions. Beating Josh Taylor makes me the kingpin of 140. It will make me look, we will make it look easy because we're on a different level. I'm ready now. Give it to me now. Oh my goodness. Does it go on? Oh, it goes on. I had it 9-3 Loma when he's studying film, talking about the Taylor fight. He said, Devin didn't do enough, said Teofimo, when asked about his thoughts on Devin Haney versus Lomachenko. I had it 9-3 Loma. Loma was dictating the fight from the second round on. People have got to look at these fights without the commentator. Devin was looking at his dad like, help me. I don't know what to do. He's figured me out. They're trying to have him, Haney, look like Floyd Mayweather 2.0. Don't look at your daddy to help you because he's not going to help you. People going off the Tank and Ryan fighting like that was the big deal. It truly wasn't. I think Tank knew he was already going to beat Ryan because Ryan is looking at and excited for the females and trying to be social media. He did that. Oh my gosh. Okay, let's move on. Teofimo just cracks me up. Old time boxing returns this Saturday night as well. As Granite Chin Promotions presents Fight Night at the Vets Club in Bridgewater Veterans Club in Bridgewater, Massachusetts. And we will get to my take on the Bridgerweight / Water Under the Bridge division in a moment. Headlining the event down in Massachusetts is a 6-round main event between New England rivals Julian Black Dragon and Ryan Clark of Berwick for the vacant United States Boxing Federation Middleweight Championship. A celebrated amateur boxer who was 2020 USA Boxing Olympic boxing team alternate, as well as 2020 USA Boxing Elite National and multiple New England Golden Gloves champ, Boston lightweight Arika Skook, who's 1-0, faces Sarah Switchkick Click. Wow. Out of Orlando, Florida, in a 6-round bout of women. Fantastic stuff. Former New England welterweight champ Mike Badman Ohan Jr., who we've talked about here on Talkin' Fight a lot, 17-2, by the way, out of Holbrook, Massachusetts, is a stay busy fighter, and he's facing Alaskan William Para Smith in an 8-round match. Unbeaten super middleweight James Pitbull Perkins, 11-0-1, by the way, a gravedigger from Lynn, Massachusetts, tangles with Texas veteran Larry Slow-Mo Smith, 13-52-2 in a 6-round match. Popular heavyweight Kevin Nagel, 1-0, throws down with Ronaldo Souza, 0-1, in a 4-round match in the opener. So that's some good news out of Granite Chin, out of Massachusetts, and we look forward to seeing those results next week. Lawrence Okolie. Now, a lot of people, whenever I mention the Bridgerweight division on my show, I get a ton of comments about, do we need a Bridgerweight division? So I changed the name based on this Bridgewater fight to my title. Anyway, Bridgewater. It's water under the bridge. But Lawrence Okolie is now making a move into the new Bridgerweight division, which would be welcomed by the World Boxing Council. Of course it would, because they need this hype. The WBC created the weight class at 224 pounds and believes it has many virtues, despite the fact it is not recognized by any other world sanctioning body. Okolie lost his WBO cruiserweight world title in a wild fight with Chris Billam-Smith, and if he moved up to Bridgerweight, he'd be ranked and get himself in the frame for a shot at the WBC title there. Okay, so it sounds like a bit of shenanigans to me, but anyway. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman said, absolutely, that's one of the virtues of the new division. Just like Evander Holyfield, a cruiserweight, then he grew into heavyweight. Bridgerweight is another possibility for cruiserweights to grow into Bridger and eventually heavyweight. He argues that this new division could be a route towards an eventual title fight at heavyweight. Without having to give up 50 pounds, 60 pounds in initial move to heavyweight, Suleiman said, remember, every Bridgerweight fighter is also accepted as a contender at heavyweight. So it is a division that has many virtues. Enough said, says Grumpy Graham. The WBA Championships Committee have approved WBA Super Bantamweight champ Marlon Tapales to unify his belt against the July 25th winner of the Nayana Inoue and Stephen Fulton fight. They also ordered former champ Mirajan Akhmadaliev, who's facing Tomiko Kamita, to meet in a final eliminator to determine the division's mandatory challenger. Tapales, if you recall, dethroned Akhmadaliev last April 8th to win the crown in a controversial and close fight. Matchroom Boxing made a direct rematch request to the WBA, and although there are elements that could support it, it is not feasible to do so at this time. The new champion and his team asked the WBA for permission to fight the winner of Inoue and Fulton. The bout would be a unification of the WBA, IBF, WBC, and WBO titles, which is a powerful reason to allow it for the sake of boxing. Akhmadaliev will now fight Kamita, as I said, who won a semifinal eliminator against Yonfrez Parejo. And the winner of this fight will be the next opponent of whoever wins between Tapales and Inoue Fulton on a date to be determined later. So there you have it, fight fans. All the news fit to print today. Thanks for joining me here on Talk and Fight. Appreciate it. Remember to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. We'll see you later on at 4 p.m. when I join Mike Orr and Cedric Ben on their show, Knuckle Up. Cheers.